Or so we've got Leslie on the other line here. Welcome, Leslie. And what I might do is just get you to introduce yourself and just tell us
Sure.
about your background and what it is that you do.
Sure. I'm an interior designer. I'm in New York City. I came to New York City in about 2000 and I worked for design firms for about 8 years. Then I started my own business in 2008. And then I relaunched, I had my children about 8 years ago, 8 years old. So I took a pause and then I relaunched my business right before COVID. So, and I'm a residential interior designer. I always have been. I love doing that. And I like to get in deep, whether it's renovations or just decorating. That's what I've always been about. So it's been a passion of mine since I was a young girl. So
Awesome.
that's it. Yeah.
So in regards to like where you were pre-COVID, take us through like where the business was at and where you felt like the big opportunities for improvement or growth were going to be.
Well, when I first started my business, I was doing high-end stuff. Projects took about a whole year to complete. And then after being a mom, when I restarted my business, I just really wanted to I needed a balance between my family life and my business life. And I'm a single mom. I have twins and I homeschool. And I want it. I want to do it all. And I'm going to do it all. And I was just, thank you. I'm so glad I found you because I was looking for that person who could give me the skills to get that done and who wouldn't sort of balk at that idea. You know, like I am different and I have a different lifestyle, but it's actually, I think it works out better. My whole family, I've got my kids on your schedule, on your system.
It's funny because every time, like there's something about New York culture. You guys work way harder than the rest of the world. Like to hear that like you were doing and still kind of a regularly like a 7-day work week is still like a pretty regular thing, especially from Australia. It's like massively unheard of. Like this, I don't know anybody that works even 6 days a week in Australia. Yeah, it's just such a cultural difference. So it was kind of eye-opening to hear that. But I mean, yeah, you add homeschooling to that, then yeah.
Yeah, because I was addicted to the working hard. And I think at some point soon you were just like, well, you got to take a day off and things are working better from taking time off.
Totally.
You know, I guess for me, I just feel like I've still got a bit of that sledgehammer, like just throw everything at it. But I really appreciate your program because you're like, do it intelligently. Let's just like slowly build up a system that works every day and is manageable rather than going 150 every day and burning out. So, and you can't do that with kids. You know, when I was single, that was different, but now I have, you know, and I want to enjoy them, you know?
So take us through, I mean, it's a massively open-ended question, but like take us through your experience in Profitable Designer so far. Like we've got a few different kind of ways that we, you know, attempt to provide value, but like you got the training formats and the call formats, but take me through like where you've found the most use in the program. Like, is it a combination of training? Is it predominantly the 10-minute one-on-ones? Is it the group calls? Like, just feel free to answer that however you like.
Well, I love the training and it's funny as a designer, even though I've been in the business for decades, I always, if I went to a bookstore, I would pass the business section books and I'd be like, that's not for me. And now I love reading business books and I realize that does have to be for everyone, like especially designers. So my passion for business and actually liking it and not seeing it in a negative light. In fact, it's funny, I just had all this baggage about what business people are like. And I don't have that anymore. It's just people, you know, it's not, I've lost that stereotype. And then the business skills really help me give better projects. They help me be a better designer and give value to my clients. rather than wasting time and not doing things properly. I think for me, was, I'm headstrong, right? You figured that out. And you're very patient with me, right? So I think for me, that was, you can match me. Like, I had a lot of doubts and questions, and I loved the program. I thought it was interesting, but when I got to a real world problem, it was hard for me to translate that information to solving the problem. And so getting on a call with you really helped me, because when all I'd have to do is ask the question and you would ask a question back. And even your question back to me made me realize I didn't really understand. I wasn't actually implementing it correctly like I thought I was. And so for me, those I think it's just, I basically call you once a week. Like, I have something big that I'm totally confused about every week. So, and then it clears up right away. That's, for me, was the value, even though I do go over and over again, my sort of, I have my Achilles heels, like I have to go over and over again in the program. It's nice to have that there, because if I'm confused, I go over the course again, the parts I know I'm weak at, and it reaffirms for me.
Yeah, I find most people are like that. Like, it's like anything that's worth implementing is worth consistently relearning and learning again. Like, some of the best books I've ever read, I've read like 10 times, and I get more out of them in the 8th and 9th time than I did when I first did. And like, and to kind of what you were talking about, like the identity of like a business owner and being a designer as well. I had that as well, until you realize that you don't actually have to become the business guy holding the suitcase and the tie. It's just still an awareness of ideas, I suppose.
Yeah. And a process of being efficient and I just love it. I think it's great. And it's helped me as a mom too, as far as scheduling and just, realizing what some skills that my kids would be of value for them moving in the future, in this world right now. It's awesome. Yeah.
Take me through, feel free to like have more than one answer to this, but what do you feel like has been the biggest aha moment that you've had since being in the program?
Just the ability that I had to explain myself to people. People don't know me. They don't necessarily understand interior design. And I had to develop those kind of communication skills to explain what I do and who I am to people. I guess for me, I was a bit in a bubble, like just assuming people would know me and trust me. And it's like, well, why would strangers you need to talk to people who aren't in the design business and be able to communicate them what the process is. Like, even during the design process, being able to say, okay, this is why we're doing this now, and without leaving people in the dark, just always making sure that you're communicating properly and that everyone's on the same page and they know why.
Got it. Yeah, and I mean, like, what you're pointing towards there is like a massive idea in that the product is, we should always be building a product. A service just infers that we get told what to do and we go do it. Whereas if we think of ourselves as a product, and the first point of contact with the product is them understanding who we are, all the way through to how we communicate with them and how we keep them in the loop, then if we start thinking about how to build a better product from that standpoint, then we can reduce the amount of like client communication by half. We can mitigate the amount of risk when it comes to disagreements, etc. But we can also deliver a better outcome, I suppose, as well.
Exactly. And it's just, it's frustrating because I always, as you know, I want to get it perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. It's always organic. And that's something I've learned through you to just calm down about, there's always going to be those little mistakes, but if you catch them early and you correct them, then you can continue to grow, and just, it's just the light, the sort of the wave of life, and it'll be interesting to see like 10 years from now where my business is. It's not going to look the same, and I don't want it to.
Good.
Yeah.
So take us through like some of the results and outcomes that you've seen from implementing the thinking and strategies.
Sure. Well, the daily schedule is amazing, even though I am always been a very disciplined person. Just the way of having not so much stress, because I realized I wasn't covering every aspect of my business every day. So that was really good, because it's a confidence that you've got things handled on a daily basis. And that was a huge de-stress for me. And also I feel like I've got this sort of feeling. It's a lot of confidence. I was very shy to get onto social media. I almost had anxiety attacks, like just at the beginning, like the idea of like I didn't like it at all. And now I don't mind it at all. And I meet lots of nice people and I have great clients. The right kind of clients are coming to me. So, and even my friends, I was on the phone a couple of days ago and they said, oh, well, this new business coach, your socials are looking more like you. You're looking more confident and it seems more like who you are authentically. And I was like, wow, they noticed, so yeah. So that's been a really big thing for me, because the advertising, as you say, if nobody knows you, how are you going to have a business? The marketing aspect for me has always been like something I've shunned. And I think you said maybe a couple months ago, it's 80% of the business. So it's not a good thing to be uncomfortable with. So for me, and just acknowledging that that's the reality of the situation for me, and for me, that was the biggest aha moment, is being comfortable with that.
So we're just at the point now where we're like refining your offer. So like every business goes through like a series of problems that it needs to solve to get to, consistent revenue machine. And right now we're working on the offer, but take us through like, how many calls roughly are you booking a week? Because I think it's really interesting, because the question after will really show that the quality of social media doesn't matter as much as just doing it. So like, take me through how many calls you're booking a week at the moment.
Well, every day I have a call right now.
And if you were to rate your ability to go through our social media training and implement it, you were saying you were like a 2, right? In regards to where you can grow.
I still suck. Oh God. Like I didn't, and you kept explaining to me and I didn't get it. It took a long time. I had some kind of block. Like if I watched the program, I totally understood. I could tell you back, but when I went to do it, I was froze. I just didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't get it. And so I had to keep coming back and back to you over and over again, and eventually I got it.
But the funny thing is that the big, and this is for everybody, is that the quality doesn't matter as long as we're expanding the reach of who's becoming aware of us. And like we've figured out where your business's strength is in regards to who you can serve. And you might think that your content's only a 2 out of 10, but the thing is you're talking about the right thing and the problem that your customers have that want them to reach out and book a call. And that's the important thing. But obviously the awesome thing is that, where you're going to be when you feel like you're an 8 out of 10. Well, that's the exciting part. But like the long-term issue is how do we filter the quality of the calls? So because, spending 45 minutes on a call a day is massively time consuming, so that'd be the next step.
Yeah. For me, it's emotionally hard too. I just find I'm very nervous I mean, I'm getting better. I enjoy, once I stop, they're just intense. They're intense experience because you want to do well. Every time I hear the projects, I'm like, this is amazing. Like I get excited. I want to do it right away. So yeah.
So based on everything that that you've learned in the program, take me through how just the overall experience has changed the way that you look at your business moving forwards.
Well, I feel like I understand it. Like I know I definitely feel like I've got confidence in the sense that I am a business. I feel that a professionalism that is refreshing, rather than just seeing myself as a freelancer trying to get jobs and a designer who's nice and wants to help people. I just see myself in being able to give value, on a, that I am worthy of a business that can grow. What else? What was the question again?
It's a tough question. It's how has this changed, the program changed the way that you look at your business moving forwards from potentially where you were, pre coming in?
It's like a 180-degree change. So it's kind of hard to express. I just feel like I'm in the know now, like where I would go around and look at other businesses and I would just, I knew there was something I didn't know. And now I feel like I'm in the know, like I've got this. Yeah. Did I don't, there's.
No, I think that's a good answer, to be honest. Yeah. It's like, it's really, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's really just understanding the mechanics of how good businesses operate so that when you see things in the open marketplace and other people presenting their business, you now understand why they're doing that, even though it seems counterintuitive to the design industry.
And for me, as you know, with our back and forth, there was always this threat. I didn't want to give up this feeling of being a designer, my passion, and I don't feel like I've sacrificed that at all. Like I do feel like it's in line with my core values and who I am. And, people in the rest of the group, their businesses are, as you said, everyone's different. They're running their businesses different than I am. I am in control. I will decide, but I do have the knowledge that if I make a certain decision, this is going to be the ramification. So it's this nice balance of, being a business person and a creative person. And I feel like now I have, even more opportunity to decide creatively what I want to do because I know the business side and I know how to sort of make all the parts fit together to be the sort of creative person I want in my business and where I want to take it, if that makes sense. So for me, it was hard to, I just felt like business skills would sacrifice sort of my love or my passion or my integrity as a designer. And it's been the opposite, actually. It's helping me be more true to myself because I can problem solve whatever comes my way.
Yeah, it's the way I see it, and a lot of people have described exactly what you're saying there, is that it's laying out the design criteria to be happy, but then it's just adding another layer of business fundamentals and making sure that we adhere to both. And then what that allows us to do is far more powerful than just adhering to design stuff,
And then what I'm finding too, like I'm confident in my design skills, but there is designing quickly for your clients, getting it done efficiently doesn't make you less of a designer. Agonizing over something little for 2 hours that isn't profitable, or it doesn't help your clients, it doesn't help your design. I'm finding, and I knew this before, but I'm finding the faster I design and the more quick I make decisions, the better the product is. It actually looks better. Do I go back and leave it for a day and then go back and check it? Yes, but to waste time doesn't help the design and doesn't help the client and doesn't help me with my family life. So it's a win-win on all levels. I can have prosperity in every area of my life, not just have to choose one or the other.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Leslie, for your amazing answers to those questions and feedback.
I hope it helped. I hope I answered.
Oh no, you did a really good job.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Because you're awesome. Thank you.
No worries. I'll just end the